Hello, comic book readers, and welcome to a new episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
This is a show where we take the comic books of the past week and we recap them, review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then give you recommendations for comic books that we think you should pick up this week. In addition to that, because we're a comic book show, obviously comics are bolstered by the Hollywood establishment. We're going to talk about some big announcements from the world of Hollywood TV and movies and its impact on comics. Namely, the Disney Plus announcement that just came out just a few days ago, where they dropped a weird video that was 90% stuff you'd already seen, and then about 2% stuff you haven't seen. That's all coming out next year or the year after that. So we're going to get into those in just a little while. But of course, we're going to talk about comic books. Before we do that, I want to mention a few things. At the top of the hour, first of all, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. If you got this notification, it means you're probably subscribed. And if you're not, make sure to make it right by subscribing here at ComicPop Returns. If you're watching at youtube.com/ComicPop, just click the pinned comment and subscribe over there, because that's the channel where we do the live shows. That's where we talk about Off the Rack new comics. It's where we do Elseworlds Exchange, a show that is probably going to move to another day because Fridays are death for that show, apparently. So that's where we talk about one topic for about an hour and just hash it out. It's a lot of fun. And if you haven't noticed already, on the main channel, there are a couple of things. Actually, if you look behind me, you'll see ComicPop Returns, our YouTube channel where we do Off the Rack, Elseworlds Exchange, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And we have another channel called ComicPop Shorts. And if you go to youtube.com's ComicPop Returns channel, it's not actually declared yet, but if you like it, check out the top. You'll see shorts. That's if you don't like TikTok, you got no time for that? No problem. Subscribe over to at ComicPop Shorts, where there'll be a link in the ComicPop Returns chat for you to subscribe. Check it out over there. But it's basically like 26 to 59-second content that you can endlessly scroll through. We're trying to release about one every other day. I know that YouTube has no idea how to compete with the juggernaut that is TikTok, so there's really no rhyme or reason to its scheduling. But once we figure that out, you will get newish content over at Shorts. That's where we just cherry pick either deleted scenes, tangents, or info dumps, like done in ones or other random stuff that we made for Comic Pop's Shorts channel or for our TikTok.
Yes, to all of these things.
Exactly. Subscribe to all three channels and more. If you want more, go over to patreon.com/ComicPop, or if you want to save yourself some money but still check out something fun, twitch.tv/ComicPop, and watch Tiffany play video games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You're still playing the Guardians of the Galaxy. If you have no idea what that game's all about, if you'd like to see it experienced from someone who's only playing it in front of you, you should check out twitch.tv/ComicPop and watch Tiffany play Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, you should.
So, yeah, let's talk about some comics, shall we?
Shall us?
Shall us?
Yeah, we shall.
Shall you?
Shalling.
Really quick, I guess I'll talk about this book because I don't know anybody else who is, and maybe we should talk a little bit about that phenomenon in a little while, but for now, I'll mention this book. It's Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, number 78 from Zeb Wells. Well, actually, Zeb Wells was working on it. Now it's Kelly Thompson right now with Sarah Pichelli, in which Ben Reilly's Spider-Man is in charge and run by a corporation that is not Alchemax. In fact, it's a new thing that is doing all the things you'd imagine Alchemax would be doing.
Okay.
I feel like I saw this story now that I'm thinking about it in Superior when Miguel O'Hara from Spider-Man 2099 was in the present. In any case, Ben is in charge. Morbius is here because brand synergy. Morbius. You know, it's a movie coming out at the end of January.
I do.
Yeah, Morbius.
I've heard that.
The living vampire.
I gotta tell you, I like both simultaneously like and hate this cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I also like and hate it. For one thing, it's more or less a lie. Like, Spider-Man fought...
That happens a lot.
It does, but if you were expecting like high-flying superheroics from Spider-Man fighting Morbius, you get a little bit of that. Okay. You get a little bit of, he fights Morbius a little bit, he loses immediately, and then just runs home and lets his home security system defeat Morbius for him.
That's like a step up from Danny Ketch.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, he is defeated, he runs away, but incidentally manages to somehow defeat the villain.
So, you know.
And the Beyond Corporation reveals more of how evil they are. There's a lot of hand-wringing and mustache twirling to be had from the Beyond Corporation, as though you couldn't imagine it. Sarah Pacelli's art, which I was criticizing in the last issue, is not being quite up to par, is better than the last issue, but not by much. It's still kind of weird.
Okay.
And yeah, I but if you'd like to see Spider-Man kind of like have agency, take charge, and run his own book, you're gonna have to read some other Spider-Man comic, because it's not in this. It's just something else. It's just, I don't know what this is, and I don't know what like the motivation is behind it. Like, I don't understand.
I don't know what this is.
I don't know what this is supposed to
I don't know
be.
what this is.
No, it's certainly not a Spider-Man comic book. Like, Spider-Man appears in it. He appears in it probably about as much as he appeared in New Avengers or other books that he was on. You know, like I'll bet actually Ben Reilly appears in this book probably about as much as he did when he was on the New Warriors back in the 90s. But it's not great.
Okay.
It's not a great book, and it's too bad, because Kelly Thompson is really good. And Kelly Thompson's favorite characters are in this book. Yep. She's pulling who did that?
Dennis Hopeless.
Yes, she's pulling a Hopeless on this one, where it's like, oh, I have a greater audience. Let me chuck a couple of characters I like in front of them.
Deadpool?
Deadpool's not in it.
Oh.
Not at all. No, instead it's a lot of Monica Rambeau and Misty Knight.
Oh, no, that's not pulling a Hopeless then necessarily, because Dennis Hopeless he put Spider-Woman in it because he wanted to keep writing about that.
Yeah, he just wanted to keep doing Spider-Woman, yeah.
Yes, that's why I was like, oh, it's going to be Deadpool.
No, it's not Deadpool. See, now if Deadpool were in it, this book actually might be selling really well.
It should have been Elsa Bloodstone. She's dealing with Morbius.
That would be great. No, but
she could throw her in there.
Nope, because those three characters are now working for the Beyond Corporation, and they're being sicked onto Morbius, of all characters. Oh no, like a care. It's one of those situations where it's like,
poor Morbius.
Right. Oh no, Porbius.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, I'm gonna restrain myself.
Well, I appreciate it. I have no restraint. But yeah, it's a pass, and it's gonna be a pass for a while, I think. I'm just sick of it at this point. I'm like really looking forward to reading a Spider-Man comic where Spider-Man is doing stuff.
Okay.
And being Spider-Man, and like Nick Spencer's run really promised that was going to happen, and I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
Pretty sure that did not happen.
Pretty sure that did not happen. In any case, that's a book. I'm sorry. I want to be excited about it. I want to read Spider-Man and be like, woo, every month. And like, I have done that in the past.
Have a good time.
And I've done it in the recent past. Not like I only like comics from the 90s. Not a lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I calls them like a season.
Yeah, you're just being real.
Yeah. Brian Rowlands in the Super Chats says, first snow of the year already in Syracuse. Well, that's Syracuse. That happened in August, right?
No, I've heard, though, that, like, yeah, because it's cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It was cold today.
But it's going to warm up, and it's going to be cold again.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's November. Hope it's better in Jersey. It is. It was a little chilly, but not bad.
And we had, like, a weird storm over the weekend.
We did. And it rained a little bit today. My top picks from last week were Savage Avengers and Eternals. Well, there you go.
I read Eternals.
I know you did. And I'm glad you did, because that's like a book you've been championing.
I know.
Raj Patel, pretty amazing week of comics. Venom, Action, Robin, and Batman were all stellar. Not reading Batman. I don't believe in it. I don't think that. I don't look forward. I'm not pushing a book that like the creator's not behind, that and that has an event that's like manufactured, choked with characters that I don't care about. I'm looking forward to Batman, and that's why I read other Batman books.
That's fair.
It's funny. Fear State, or whatever the hell this book is called, that story arc, has, I think there's 100 tie-ins.
There can't be that many.
Well, no, it's not 100 tie-ins. I'm sorry. It actually winds up to being, if you want to read all of Fear State, it probably costs you about almost $200.
Oh, like for the whole event?
For the whole event, if you want to read all the books that have Fear State on it.
Ooh. I mean, listen, comics are going up in price each week. I think to myself, really?
Yeah. Yeah, and that doesn't include the Batman Urban Legends book, which is also technically a tie-in to Fear State, which has the logo on it. That book is $7.99.
Well, it's funny. I really can't say that I can say anything about that, because I read all of Ten of Swords.
Right. Yeah, but that book, it told you what it was going to be, told you how many parts it was going to be, didn't have any tie-ins. It was just, that was how many chapters were in that book.
It's true. That's true.
Dan V900 says, me and Joel are the only ones I know that are covering Amazing Spider-Man right now. I dropped off incredibly quickly. Tiffany Wrench and Elsa Bloodstone just reminds me of the great Marvel Zombies Battle World miniseries.
Yes.
It was a great series.
That was a great series.
Yes.
That was solid.
Yeah.
Some of those Battle World books were just
all of them
really good.
There were no duds.
There really weren't.
Right?
No.
There was some really good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Weird how much better those were than a lot of things that are coming out right now.
Well, just how solid they were. And I think, again, it's that limitation.
Yeah.
You put that limitation on
Well, you
there.
cancel every book and replace it with some
I meant like they knew they only had like a few issues.
Yes.
Here's your story.
Yeah.
It's not one issue,
right?
So it's not like, a
like
throwaway.
That Red Skull book by Josh Williamson. That is only like 3 issues or something.
Oh, okay. I thought
Remember
you meant
that?
like, no.
It was Suicide Squad, but Marvel. That was the pitch.
I did not remember that.
It was good. It was actually like really good. It was surprising how good it was. It was like,
Okay.
wow, what a neat idea. And then he was like, bye, I'm going to DC. I also read Justice League Last Ride, number 7, the of 6, from Chip Zdarsky.
I was like, wait.
Yeah, it was originally 6 issues, and then Zdarsky pulled a Zdarsky, got an extra book out of that one, and I'm glad he did because he got to breathe. I was saying how this felt like it should have been in continuity. It's an Elseworlds type book. It's in another reality. It's out of continuity. It does whatever it wants. Takes some liberties, and now that it's concluded, I can safely tell you that it absolutely could have been in continuity. There is no excuse why it isn't, and I have a very firm belief that this was like a script that he wrote for like his pitch for Justice League, except that I know that there was a different creator who wanted to do Justice League but lost it to Bendis, and it wasn't Chip Zdarsky. But this is weird because it could have just been the first arc from Justice League. And I think if this had been like the first arc of Chip Zdarsky's run on Justice League, I think Justice League would be selling better right now.
Really?
Well, I'm certainly not reading it.
Okay, that's true.
And that is not really a big litmus test for anybody, but like, this is fine. It's just the Justice League working together. They had some fallout. They dealt with this thing. I mean, there's a couple liberties you have to take, and there is a death, and that death was important and impactful, but then undone. And like they fight Darkseid, and Darkseid like is like defeated, but you could replace him with Mongol or something, and if you wanted to make it in continuity, it's fine. It's really actually kind of a fun book, and we'll probably cover it on Backish at some point. But it's just like, why is this here?
Right.
And I mean, like, ultimately it's serialized fiction that is created for entertainment purposes. So like the reason it's here is because like they want you to read it and they think it'll be entertaining.
Money. Yeah.
Well, just they think they hopefully at the purest sense they'll think it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think it is, and I think you'll enjoy it if you're looking for like a breath of fresh air from DC right now.
It feels like they're hedging their bets.
They really are. No, big time. They're just like, oh my god. Well, because I don't think Infinite Frontier did very well. Like, okay. And here's the thing: have you heard any hype about anything coming from Marvel or DC? Like any hype to the degree of Hickman's X-Men, 3 Jokers, Batman's Wedding, hell, even like Jed McKay on Moon Knight. Like just any hype about anything. I feel like we're in kind of a significant drought of excitement. And I know that like Infinite Frontier was supposed to be that thing, but because of Fear Itself, Fear Itself was the Marvel event nobody read.
Fear State?
Fear State. No, Fear State is the Future State. Yes, there we go. Future State. See, reading comics is easy.
I'm sure Future State and Fear State are supposed to like
line up to each other.
There,
well, they absolutely are. Well, because somebody pointed out recently online that after all of these stories have kind of like reached their first arc conclusion, Batman will be replaced, Wonder Woman's already replaced, Superman's replaced. Like every character, there's an all new, all different DC happening right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody's noticed. Because DC's also because DC's doing it a little smarter. See, what's funny is,
big deal about it.
Well, they're also giving you alternatives.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's why it feels like they're hedging their bets. Like they want to move forward and try to be innovative and change things up, but they're also like, but
yeah,
maybe you don't want that.
Right. You probably don't. I mean, like, and that's usually DC's the ones who usually throw their hat over the wall first. And then Marvel goes, is that how we're supposed to do things? Okay, here it is, but polished.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's like Marvel's like, here's all different Marvel. I don't know. We have like only 2 editors. And then this time DC's like, I think I know how we could do the all new different DC. And we'll do it by giving you exactly what you want. And also that.
Yeah, and in terms of excitement, I think there are books that individuals or smaller groups are excited about. You
Yeah.
know, like
Oh, you big and it is big time smaller groups. It's
right,
groups
and
that are
like
like not gonna tilt the comic book industry to one way or another,
right. Well,
but
what I'm
they're
saying is like
getting
there
headlines.
is excitement, but it's not to that degree.
Yeah, no, there's no like midnight releases or like New York Times articles outside of cosmetic changes to characters.
I did hear that they were going there might be a midnight release. I guess we'll see how things go because
Oh,
I hear other variant or other virus things are coming. Another
oh,
wave possibly, but I heard there might be something for when Saga returns.
that makes
And
sense.
I will be there.
Oh, of course, but that's Saga. Saga has had like a 10-year hiatus,
I
and
know.
you
And
know,
that but again, that I don't think that that's across the board either.
yeah,
Again, it's like it's there's a group of us who are like super excited for this,
yeah,
right?
oh
And
yeah.
it just feels like that right now. There's nothing that's really unifying.
No, no, it's not like, and that's too
And I don't mean
bad.
like people are fighting. I
No,
just think that people are just kind of like,
well, people are
I'm
just
really
like, I'm
excited
reading
about
books.
this.
Yeah. And that maybe that's good. Maybe people are like able to have tunnel vision and be like, hey, man, I really love this Moon Knight run, or I'm really enjoying Hellions, or for the 2 issues that are left,
Yeah.
or I'm really digging this Alien book, but that's it. Like,
But
there's no like overall hype.
no, but maybe that's not a bad thing for the overall community because what it does is it gives a fan an opportunity to really consider something not just based on hype, but based
Yeah.
on someone talking about it or like a genuine review where it's like, the type of thing that I like, or the type of thing that Sal likes. And
Yeah.
so, if we're talking about a book, maybe it might be for you if we align in terms of our likes.
That's true.
As opposed to just being part of the hype train.
Right. Yeah.
Hype
But
train.
the industry, I think, needs that shit. Like every year there needs to be some kind
They
of
need the hype train.
They need the hype train.
All aboard.
I mean, the fact is, like, if you look at comic book YouTube is held aloft by the movie industry's obsession with comic book superhero adaptations. And without it, you'll notice that your favorite channels are all doing really poorly. Not us notwithstanding. We are, but like it has nothing to do with that. I'm just saying, like,
It's just us.
well, no,
No,
we are, but we are being like punished as a result because like there is no like hype around either the industry in the comics or any big tentpole movies. Like Eternals unfortunately died on the vine. So like that was, I think, Feige's interpretation of what was going to be exciting in a new direction. Now it's like No Way Home is kind of it. And that's become a cottage industry as opposed to it being like, hey, everyone's excited about Spider-Man No Way Home and maybe Spider-Man and maybe Daredevil and maybe this, that, and the other thing, maybe Doctor Strange and all this other stuff. And instead of it being this kind of like catch-all, hey, let's bring up the industry, it's become this cottage industry for very distinct, specific groups that are like, we only talk about No Way Home and we're only doing this and we're only like feeding into the rumor mill as opposed to like celebrating its impact on comics and comics influence on movies.
Right.
So, I don't know, but it's funny. I noticed there was like kind of a dearth right now and of enthusiasm. Like I'm not excited or hyped for like anything overall from either of them right now.
Yeah, and we're not talking in terms of movies or other media. We're talking specifically for comics. So
Yeah.
usually something that folk are getting excited about. I mean, like, listen, I'm excited for Inferno, but I'm not excited for Inferno. At the same
No,
time.
exactly. Well, Inferno should be the thing that everyone's hyped about. And
But
instead,
it's sad.
It's sad. And instead, like people are like, well, I'm not really excited about, like, I don't even know what's going on. Not with X-Men, but like, is Hickman leaving or not? I rest my case. Like that's the situation, right? Like, is Hickman leaving forever? Are they throwing everything away? Did he really leave a roadmap? Is that fair to the creators? Is Jerry Duggan the architect now? Like, nobody knows because no one has issued a statement. Just like nobody knows if Dan DiDio was ever really fired. Was he fired? Find any documentation from DC Comics or Warner Brothers that says he was fired.
He's gone into a Kryptonian healing hiatus.
Yeah, no, he hasn't.
No,
he was fired. And I know that from industry of like pros and not from the company that fired him. That's the new normal.
Yeah.
And but anyway, that's not what this kind of show's about. We're talking about comic books, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about them.
So let's stay on topic. I'm like, you started this.
I know it's my fault. That's my fault. Speaking of other things, I should also mention that this show is sponsored by viewers like you. You notice that a couple of amazing people like Raj and Brian and Dan, like all did super chats to ask a question or comment, and we read it here on the show. Well, that's how we get paid and pay the cable bill so that I can have a consistent internet connection and you can have an uninterrupted high def show like this. Or if you're listening to this on Spotify or Podbean or Apple Podcasts, you can enjoy this show uninterrupted and without any editing. So yeah, check that out if you haven't already, or just join the Patreon or something. I don't know,
or whatevs. It's all fine.
By the way, I'm not really asking like what's happening with Hickman. It's a rhetorical question. I'm just saying like you don't really know. Nobody really knows. All we do know is Hickman was given a huge chunk of money from Substack, so he's going to go do the thing he's being paid to do at Substack right now. And he's only being paid by Substack to be there, not to make the thing he's making. He just would have done that after he was done with X-Men, but because he can do it now, he's doing it now. And then he's going to do that and be done with it sooner so he can go back to X-Men afterwards.
Yeah.
That's where we are. You follow me? Danby 900, Robin and Batman by Lemire and Nguyen was very good. I don't feel the excitement from people with the big two. Nightwing with Fear State lost steam. People who read Daredevil love it, but no real hype. Agreed. I love Daredevil, and there is no real hype, but you should read every volume of Daredevil because it's a consistently excellent series that has not let anyone down, except in the art department when Cicchetto's not drawing it. Eric Santee says, X-Men 97, should they finish adapting Chris Claremont's era stories with the 90s aesthetic, adapt other eras with 90s aesthetic, or create new stories? Eric, I want to put a pin in that right now because we're going to talk about X-Men 97 at the end of the show, and I really want to talk about that because we talked about that internally, like outside of the mic, and I promise you we will get to it. But yes, across the board. That's what I'm going to say about that. But we'll get into it.
Yeah.
What did you read, Tiffany?
I read a lot.
You did read a lot.
Jump into it.
Yeah.
Obviously, I read Hellions this week.
You did.
Penultimate,
not the end.
Not the end.
But it might as well be.
Next. No. I got to tell you. Okay, first of all, I should say this is written by Zeb Wells with art by Steven Segovia.
Wow, has that been this team pretty much the entire 17-issue run?
No, I think they did do a switch at one point or another.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that one.
I don't know.
But I believe that did happen at one point. This issue felt a little different. And I don't mean in a bad way. I mean in a good way. I've enjoyed the entire run. I think Zeb Wells has done a phenomenal job writing this team. And while I'm sad to see it end, I'm glad that it's not going out with like a fizzle.
A whimper, if you will.
Yeah, a whimper. It's just finishing up this story. And I got to tell you, like, this one felt a little more like he was just like, I don't care anymore about like worrying about using too many expletive deleted words in it. But appropriately so for this team. It totally fits.
Yeah.
It just felt more like, let's just hit it hard and let's go.
Yeah.
And I really appreciated it. To be honest, when I was thinking about this, talking to you about this today, honestly, after I read it, I've come to a place of realization with Hellions that this team could never go on.
Right.
They're too dysfunctional in their own way. They've got too many hangups. So either they would fall apart or they would find like they become better people and then it wouldn't be the team anymore. So unless you're going to do like a Suicide Squad and keep changing the roster up, you really couldn't keep this book going. Right. And I've come to realize that, and I think I'm okay with it ending.
Yeah.
As much as I really, really enjoyed it and will absolutely miss this run. And I highly encourage you, if you were waiting on this one or Hellions or X-Men just wasn't your thing, give it a shot. Like there's a certain different feel to this book from the other X titles. There's a lot more humor and sarcasm. And again, kind of has that Suicide Squad-ish feel to it. So if that's something you enjoy, this might be the X book for you. Without really it's hard to like talk about this because we're literally at the end, but like a lot of good stuff happens in this book. You have the two characters of Nanny and Orphan Maker in this, and they've come a long way from the beginning of this. Obviously, Nanny treating the adult Orphan Maker like a child because he does have a childlike mind and an unknown mutant power.
Yeah.
Whatever it is dangerous. And he has a suit in which keeps that in control.
Yes.
And over time, Nanny died in Amenth along with Wild Child. And so when they came back, and Orphan Maker too, and when they came back, they were different.
Yes.
Right?
How different?
How different? They were like next level. Like they were a little like faster and this and that. And they were also like, they acted differently towards one another. Right. And inevitably, Tarn took that away from them.
Oh,
that gift.
Right.
Amenth's gift. He took it back from them. So they didn't have that anymore. But during those adventures, Nanny ended up going to the right. I believe that's what it is. Who are a bunch of like mutant haters. And they turns out that like the guy running it is actually like Nanny's ex-husband. And while she was there, she had stolen a little baby. It's a mutant AI.
Okay.
So it's like a little robot mutant baby
AI
thing, right? Yeah. And she was going to raise it and kind of like put Orphan Maker on the sidelines. And so like he was really struggling with that. And we've seen that go along. And this all comes to a head after Nanny ends up her ship explodes and the baby's taken, but she's okay. And so Orphan Maker leaves and decides that he's going to prove himself to Nanny by showing what a good big brother he is. And so he goes to their compound in Arizona, and like he shouldn't be there for a number of reasons. Mainly the idea of like Krakoan like relations with the US and the world. And so like Emma immediately is trying to put spin on this, like, okay, like we need some ideas here, people, because like, listen, that group really shouldn't even be there. So we might get local like government and like, you know, enforcement behind us on this one, but we got to make sure we spin this the right way.
Yeah.
So Quanon takes her team except for Manuel.
Okay.
He's not allowed to go empath because he's the one that triggered havoc and destroyed her child.
Gotcha.
Emma had put him in there as like a sleeper agent for certain things. Not really sleeper. He knew what he was supposed to do if certain things came to a head. And this issue basically creates a huge problem with Krakoa and possibly the US.
Okay. Well, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And it's Orphan Maker's fault because he just loses his mind. Like he just loses it. And ends up killing some local cops. So, you know, it's not good.
Yeah.
Also, the mutant baby like had been saying like mew, mew, mew over and over, and Nanny kept trying to get it to say
mommy or something.
Like nanny.
And
so when she like Orphan Maker does make it in, they all do get in there, and she grabs the baby and like it says mutant, and then like mutant hate. And then like it kills her in front of Orphan Maker, and that's what triggers him.
Okay.
And mutant scum, that's what it was.
There you go.
And it's so like Harold, her like, you know, ex is like, oh, that's so funny. It killed you, and like you thought it was gonna be blah blah. And then the Orphan Maker like snaps his neck brutally. But again, it's only when like a sheriff and deputy roll up and he shoots them that like they're like, okay, this is going to be a problem. Like this is the problem. So I'm looking forward to seeing the thrilling conclusion to Hellions, because it's like this group has done a lot. They've done some good. They've done some not good.
Yeah.
And the threat for them would be where they ended up. Would it be in the hole basically or not?
Right.
So who knows what's going to happen to this group?
I don't know.
All I know is that Psylocke is looking to leave being a captain, but it's like she's having one last ride.
Okay. One more issue.
Yeah.
Hellions, number 17. Not a big commitment.
No.
Danville 900, did either of you read what's the furthest place from here? I really liked it, but I know people are screwed who ordered the deluxe edition. No, I didn't put it on the pre-order, so it's gone. It wasn't in my comic shop. Comics Lamar, you two are great. Love the show. IDW TMNT in the future. We did it on back issues, and you'll see Last Ronin. That's all we're gonna do from TMNT.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
The other X book I read this week was Excalibur number 25, written by Tini Howard with art by Marcus Toe.
Yep.
This is just a solid issue, really like getting back to Excalibur's roots in terms of dealing with Otherworld and Saturnine.
Yay. Now, Excalibur, you mean like this era of Excalibur?
Yes, I should say that.
Because,
sure. Well, it could also be just Excalibur in general because,
Brian Braddock's
he's in it. And like Captain Britain has had a long history with Merlin and Saturnine. And that's really what is going on here. Merlin's gone to war against Saturnine.
Okay.
And he ends up displacing her from the Starlight Citadel.
Oh,
in this
no.
issue.
What?
Yeah.
That sucks.
And Betsy faces off against Arthur.
Okay.
And it's dope.
Sweet.
It's really dope. We also see her getting to know, or not to know, but like having a conversation with some of the folk from Strike.
I don't really know very much about Strike.
They're a British team of mutants. Pete Wisdom is putting the band back together because don't forget they can't go back to England. They're ousted from there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So there's that going on, but we're not really dealing with that. I will say that there's a moment in this which is I thought was interesting because Betsy's talking to Tom from Strike, and he mentions like the last thing he remembers before dying because he's Pete puts in a list of people he wants to have brought back to make his like members of Strike, and so like they're back now thanks to Krakoa.
Yeah.
But he mentioned specifically that like he like the last thing he remembers was seeing a character by the name of Slaymaster's sword, and seemed like it was in front of him and be like behind him, and then he died. But I think he was shot by Mad Jim Jasper's group, the Beatles.
Okay.
So I just thought it was interesting because I really haven't seen much in the way that I'm like, oh, that's not correct.
Right. Like, is it wrong intentionally, or is it just bad editing?
Yeah, or is it just oops? Like, who cares?
Probably oops. Who cares? That's very Marvel. That's very Marvel. The last 20 years is like, it's sold. Who cares? We have your money now.
Yeah. So,
change it in the trade. That's what we do.
Sure. But ignoring that, the rest of the issue is just real good.
Yeah.
Just, literally, you got these characters that have like, Gambit's still here because Rogue obviously is part of the X-Men. She's not on this team anymore.
No.
So she's not here. And I really appreciate that because it'd be really easy for them to be like, I mean, who cares? Just put her here too.
Right.
She's doing dual duty.
Yeah.
No.
Wolverine's everywhere too. Well, who cares?
Yeah, no, she's not here. But like North Star is here now and Bay is here.
Yeah.
Like the Blood Moon. So like they've got them helping them and helping to defend what they have left, which is basically is Avalon at this point. They've fallen back to Avalon. Shogo burnt a deep rift in reality between Avalon and the rest of Otherworld to keep them safe. And Jamie Braddock is desperately keeping reality together.
Okay.
And so when that happens, they ended up getting Saturnine out of the Citadel, and that's how like she was removed from it because Merlin cast a spell of anti-magic around the Citadel. And so anyone who was powered by that, including Captain Britain,
couldn't go in.
Couldn't use magic. And so Betsy couldn't be Captain Britain, but she's a mutant. Who cares?
Right.
Betsy ends up getting her out, and they're like standing on the edge of like the moat thing that the rift that Shogo made.
Yeah.
And so Merlin uses magic and like crumbles the ground beneath them, and they fall into the reality rift. So it's just Betsy and Saturnine.
Cool.
And they wake up on this lake. Saturnine's been there before. It's just the two of them. So hopefully they don't kill each other.
Right.
Because they don't like one another.
No, they don't.
So
that's fun.
This really brought me back into like what really got me into Excalibur. Not that I haven't been enjoying it, but I'm like, yay, we're doing magical England things.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Now, let me tell you, like that's I'm glad to hear that Excalibur is continuing. Let me ask you this: is it on the chopping block, or is it selling well enough? It was on the top 2 best-selling books of the week on Comixology, which means nothing because digital sells like shit.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. But again, if it did, I think they let them finish out the story, the arc at least. And so it's had a good run no matter what. But, for as long as it's going, I'll probably be reading it.
Cool.
We got another sweet graphic in here. I haven't seen one of those in a while.
No.
Just displaying Otherworld and what Merlin has control over at this point, which is
cool.
quite a bit.
Okay.
Quite a bit.
By the way, I've always held on to this idea. I just feel like, the Jubilee with a kid thing, they were like, oh man, we really kind of wrote ourselves into a hole with Jubilee having like this adopted kid. And once they established that like they could turn into a dragon,
only in Otherworld,
they could just be like, he'd rather be a dragon in Otherworld.
Yeah, and just stay there.
And just he stays there.
Yeah.
And Jubilee can visit sometimes.
Yeah, well, they like he uses his powers and then like he's like passed out.
Yeah.
And like Jubilee's like, oh, like, and Bay's like, the kid doesn't know how to use his powers. He needs training. And I'm like,
oh, maybe the kid will go away and be trained by Bay.
Yeah, well, here's what I'm wondering too. And I don't think this is what is going to happen. But like when you take a look at that map, that graphic that they have, like a lot of it is taken up. And then you remember that there's literally a portal to Amenth. And I'm like, is Apocalypse going to come back and be like, yo?
Yeah, probably.
What are you doing?
Probably, especially since like Teenie Howard, for the most part, was the one who made Apocalypse leave in the first place. So maybe she'll be the one to bring him back.
Yeah.
Novus says, would you ever consider doing Brubaker's or Wade's run of Daredevil for back issues? I genuinely feel like Daredevil consistently has the best runs. He does. It's because, for the most part, editorial leaves him alone and doesn't care, which is also, unfortunately, a casualty of the show because people don't watch. Like, we did a Batman Daredevil episode. It was really bad. Did really, really poorly. We're really disappointed by how it was. But that's Daredevil and Batman. That's a Daredevil book you never read before. We gave it to you. Nobody watched it. So like, why would I do an entire run of Daredevil that no one's reading for the past 25 years? Like, probably not. Unless I'm proven wrong. Khalif Frederick, I'd say Dark Ages and Dark Knights of Steel are hyped. No. you're hyped about them because they're cool. And I think that DC would love for you to be hyped about Dark Knights of Steel. And unfortunately, the reason why I know they're not hyped is because no one's talking about Dark Ages. And the only thing people were talking about with Dark Knights of Steel was Bruce and Clark's relationship. And that was it.
I still haven't read it.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, but it's like, it was a cosmetic change that, like, in Elseworlds, the book from 30 years ago, no one would have batted an eye at. But in today's landscape was like an opportunity to create controversy and clicks, which is horseshit. Dex Baker, oh no, I'm late. Nah, man, you're good. The show's here for posterity. You're fine. You're fine. Don't worry. Let's see. And I think we're good. So let's jump into some more books. I know you read Eternals. You want to talk about Eternals? You want to go to the next thing?
It's up to you. I can do that or whatever you want.
I'm out of books.
By the way,
so.
did I say North Star?
No.
Okay, good. I'm like,
you definitely
it's Shatterstar.
There you go.
I could do Strange Academy just really quickly.
Yeah, how's Strange Academy?
Strange Academy is just great. Like that's all I ever really want to say about this is that like it's consistent across the board. It's issue 13 issues of a really consistently strong series about a bunch of characters you don't know. That's what I think is so fascinating about this.
Yeah, a book I expected to be canceled after 6 issues.
But it's delightful. It's utterly delightful, and it's dealing a lot with the Aaron run on Doctor Strange. Like it's just like
it's interesting. It's really interesting.
Strange Academy so far seems to be taking a couple of things that they kind of left in Aaron's run. So I'm wondering if it's going to go past that as well.
I hope so.
And being like, hey, remember some characters from there? Let's go back and look at them for a minute.
Yeah.
And like just kind of close their story like we did with Mr. Misery.
Exactly.
And this is no different because in this it's revealed who was behind that door down in the like that our main character like meets up with or like chats with. Emily has been doing it quite a bit. Also, by the way, there's a really great little sign-up sheet at the beginning of this because they're doing school presentations where you like bring somebody from your home realm and like have them like present about your home realm.
Okay.
But what I really appreciated was it was a really solid reminder of where everyone's from.
Yo, yeah, that's right.
Like I'm like, oh, this was really a clever way to be like
keep people up to speed.
Yeah, like don't forget, like there's someone from Limbo and like there's someone from Otherworld. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's someone from the Dark Dimension. I'm like, right, yeah. I mean, obviously with Doyle, yes.
We know who he's
like,
from.
And like a lot of them are from Earth, but like I was like, that was clever. Like, nice job.
Yeah.
Nice job. Did I mention that this was written by Scotty Young with art by Humberto Ramos?
Yeah, I don't think you did.
Oh, well, it is. But we find out who's behind the door, and it's the Imperator.
Oh,
the guy who tried to kill Magic. Yeah, I was like,
cool. That's great.
And so he gets an end to his story.
That's great.
And it's really sweet.
It's satisfying.
I don't know if it's satisfying, but like it's really sweet because Emily sees something different in him, and like so she gives him a little ending. Whether or not it's like that's the last we'll see of him, I don't know.
I mean, no one's ever really gone.
But like it's very nice what she ends up doing, and I won't ruin it for you because if you did read Way of the Weird, you are familiar with this character, and I just hated him so much because he was so well written, and he was like he so believed his desires and drives, and in this she kind of gets to the heart of what she thinks it really is about.
Gotcha.
And I was like, I buy it.
Yeah,
I totally buy it. Also based on the cover, we get a lot more about Zoe, who is from the Louisiana area where the school is. We found out that like in the past, we found out that she's like a zombie of some sort. And it's like, how is this possible? We get her backstory on this. And it's very nice. It just helps to kind of like flesh out this character a little bit more. Just a really good issue of a series that I don't think a lot of folk thought was going to last, but I like it. If you're looking for something in the magical realm, that's the one to go with.
Yay. So what else did you read? Because those are literally all the books I read.
Oh,
like I didn't read anything.
What about this?
I picked it up.
Oh, we picked this up. We haven't read it yet.
No,
because we wanted it in physical.
No, yeah, exactly.
Because it's Dustin.
Because it's Dustin Nguyen.
So you got to have it. So we will read this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw the back. Come on.
Right.
I love like monochromatic pieces. Okay.
I know.
Putting that down. I also read Wonder Woman.
Yes, you did.
I did. And I had not been reading the backups in Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So like my whatever price.
Oh no, were they important or something?
Well, no. I mean, like, listen, every story is important to somebody. But this in the backup of this one for your price tag. So basically, I was just spending so much and not getting all of it.
Yeah.
This one has in the backup, it's the Road to the Trial of the Amazon. So if you have any interest in that, it's gonna give you a little edge there.
Yes. If you don't know what the hell she's talking about, because DC's doing a stellar job of promoting it, that's the upcoming Wonder Woman event that will be taking all the Wonder Women that they've been pushing over the last 3 years and putting them into one big event that they said they haven't had in a long time. And I'm like, you have had like several.
Right.
You had War of the Gods. You had Amazon's Attack. You had The Witching Hour.
Yeah. Well, that they'd say was a Justice League Dark event.
Yeah, sure.
It was really about her. It was about her. It was about her.
That's not how you promote it.
No, I know. This is Wonder Woman back in
On Earth.
On Earth. Like
Earth
she's
Zero.
been back. Earth Zero. This is issue 781, written by Cloonan and Conrad with art by Takara. The art's great in this. I really, really liked the art in this.
Yeah.
It's colored by Tamara Bonvillain, which doesn't hurt anyone there because I really like Bonvillain's colors. We watch Wonder Woman kind of reintegrating back into everything and like having those moments of being like, I'm like seeing a lot of people who said their goodbyes to me, and now I'm like, hey, I'm here.
Hey, I'm back now.
Yeah, and so it's rough. She hasn't talked to Steve Trevor yet. She's just not ready to do it.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not avoiding him, I swear. And I'm
Sure.
like, oh, okay. Dr. Psycho is in this. He's a main antagonist. He's got some plans.
Might as well.
Like, he ends up getting a hold of an unseen artifact. When she goes to like confront him, because like he wrote a book, and she's like, hey, I'm sure you're up to something. He ends up utilizing his powers to like take control of like a local construction worker who's going to threaten to jump. And so like he's like he speaks through the guy being like, listen, like, you know, you could save this one, sure, but can you save everybody who's working on this high rise right now? Because I know you can't. So like stop like putting your nose in my business.
Yeah.
So obviously she's not going to do that. But what she does want to do is make sure that like she takes care of a couple of like personal entanglements because she's afraid that her attachments to like individuals could be used against her.
Sure.
So that's what she's going to do. So she seeks out Boston Brant again.
Oh.
And he's like living in the Boston area or in like Massachusetts, I think, and is in or somewhere in New England. That's what they say.
Sure.
But I made assumptions. He's in a corpse for right now. You can tell because it's got like the autopsy scars. He's wearing a V-neck, so you can intentionally see that. And they are going to travel because she wants to return the sword that Siegfried gave her. That's part, like, she's got like a list. That's gonna do that. That's what we're gonna work on right now.
All right.
Boston holds the sword. He's able to figure out where to go, but he needs to be there to be able to pinpoint him more. He's like, I know you need to go in this area. I'm gonna go with you. So she decides that they should take a plane. In the meantime, Steve Trevor is accosted by Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Well, not really.
No, who like beats him up and then he shoots her and she shatters.
Oh, like so much Betsy Braddock.
Like so much Betsy Braddock, but hopefully it doesn't come back. But then as they're on the plane, because like Boston's like, why are we on a plane? We could just go.
Yeah.
And she's like, sometimes I just need like some like a quiet space like this to just be with my thoughts.
Right,
And that's
like, so
all I
can't
want
you
to
fly?
do. Yeah. Well, he's like, couldn't we just do that at the hotel, like binging like some like marathon of show?
Yeah.
She's like, no.
No.
And the reason we want to do that is because we want to do a homage to the Twilight Zone.
Oh, there's something on the wing.
There's something on the wing. Except she looks outside and what she sees is a whole bunch of Wonder Women.
Oh.
Like flying. It's just her.
Right, but different versions of her.
Yeah, and she goes like, I think there's something out there. And like the next is Nightmare at 20,000 feet. I'm like,
cool, okay.
Cute.
That's cute.
Cute.
All right.
And then the backup just kind of I guess it's just introducing us to some characters and just an overall like vibe.
Yeah.
That's what I got for that.
That's fair. All right. Somebody asked if I had read Venom because Venom #1 came out from Al Ewing and Brian Hitch, and I bought it and I looked at it. Like I opened it up and I read the first 3 pages and I closed it. I don't like Brian Hitch's art. I don't care about Dylan. I'm not interested in this. There's nothing about this I'm excited about. So I just didn't. And it's not worth me doing a review.
Okay.
Just to be like, I read 32 pages of a book that I knew in the first 3 that I'd hate. Like, nope.
It was an oversized issue too. Like they're trying to make it.
Yeah, they really got my money out of it.
Well, I mean, like at least they're like, listen, like everybody liked like people were on board. I'd say some of the last hype was with Johnny Cates and Venom.
Yeah.
Just in general. And so like I'm sure they're just trying to like keep that going.
Yeah, no,
and
it
try
makes
to make
sense.
it feel grandiose.
It makes sense to do that, and especially with Al Ewing on art. On writing with Ron V, by the way. But like, I was like, I don't give a crap about anything that's happening.
Okay.
And like the stakes they're implying, I was like, no thanks. Benjamin Loudly says, just giving you guys my money before the Substack writers beat me up for it. Also, what's the best new mainstream books out art-wise? Oh, that's an excellent question. I mean, I gotta tell you, this Robin and Batman book ain't too shabby. I haven't read it, but I will say that the art's fantastic. Eternals has some amazing art because, of course, Saad Ribic is drawing it.
Ribic, and I know that's not for everyone.
No, nor is it going to be consistent. Like, it's not going to be a book you can read forever.
No,
he's not going to be able to do it forever.
I would say Strange Academy. I like Humberto Ramos. I think it's a very stylized look to it, but
Yes.
I do love it. X-Men, even though they've been changing up the artist with the new team.
Yeah, but Pepe Larraz, I think, was on it.
Yeah, Pepe Larraz, and there's a new gentleman or new person who was on it just the last issue, and like it always looks good.
Yeah,
at least since they picked the new team, I've really enjoyed the look of every single issue. I thought they did such a stellar job.
Yeah.
And honestly, hasn't come out yet, but I'm really looking forward to what Jock's gonna do with Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
I think it is.
Super excited.
Yeah. So yeah, what else do you want to talk about?
I was going to talk about Eternals, and then we can jump into talking about
Disney Plus.
I really won't go too much into this. Eternals #7.
Yes,
the new arc starts here. Which
poor Marvel, they really were like, yeah. At least the book's really good. We like the movie, but
yeah. It's
new arc starts here
by Kieran Gillen with art by Saad Ribic. They're making sure they put the new arc starts here because they did have an arc, and then they had a couple of one shots just to kind of like give a little gap.
Yeah.
And now we're back. And this was a pretty well-timed book for them. So probably why they had those little one shots. Also just to give you something that like gave you a little more history in those one shots.
Maybe give Ribic a little more time.
I don't know. I think they did plan this though. This
oh yeah, no, they
the stuff that was in there did feel planned.
Okay. All right, that's good.
But this is just like, listen, what did the Eternals find out last time? Do we remember, folks?
No, but they don't.
The Eternals found out that when the world machine revives them, a human dies. And remember that boy that Icarus went to visit, and he had a vision about that boy dying, and so Icarus kept watching him? Yeah. Because when Icarus is brought back, Toby Robinson dies.
Oh no.
So there was nothing he could have done about it. And like that was heartbreaking in that last issue.
Yeah.
And so like the main Eternals group that we've been following leaves and goes to Lemuria, where the Deviants are, and they're just going to live with them for a while and see if they can't change as beings and who they are.
That's a cool idea.
And so they're dealing with the political fallout of that. The leader of the Deviants used to be with Thena. She's now with someone else of a deviant nature, and he's got his eyes set on Cersei. So we'll see what's going on.
We know what she likes to do.
Icarus is well, no, Thena's got a thing for deviants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But Cersei's also just like, I don't know, let's have a good time.
Yeah.
Like Icarus is really struggling with this whole revelation. He's like at like Toby's grave.
Yeah.
And has decided that what he needs to do is go to his parents and tell them. Tell them why their son is dead and why I couldn't save him.
Probably not a good idea.
He made a promise to them to protect the kid.
Yeah.
But as he's outside the door trying to decide what to do, Jack of Knives shows up.
Okay.
One of the 4 crime lords, the eternal crime lords, and is like, "Listen, I can't let you do that. If you tell them, I'll kill them."
Okay. Well, I don't want to be responsible for more deaths in this family.
And if you decide to tell anyone else, I'll kill them too. And if you decide to go like on TV and like tell them, I'll poison your thoughts so that it kills them upon hearing it. Like basically, it's like you can't.
You gotta keep this a secret.
Can't. Yeah, they can't know this.
Right.
They can't know this at all. And he's like, well, then he's like, Chris is like, oh, like I couldn't kill you, and he's like, but now what will happen?
Right, a person will die when they bring me back.
So
yeah.
So Icarus knocks on the door, and he goes in, and instead he just says like how sorry he is, and like if there's anything he can do to help them, if like just call upon him. And then his mom just takes a minute and she's just crying. And then she just unleashes on him and just screams at him. And Icarus is like happy for
That's
it.
fair.
Well, he's happy for it because he's like, in his mind, the worst thing that could have happened was he would be forgiven.
Right.
He's like, no, death is eternal, and so must this.
Mm-hmm. So much
be.
this hate for me. Man.
Yeah. So must my like shame and like, sadness.
Cool.
It's dope. Meanwhile, Druig's still working with Thanos.
Naturally.
Because they've been working together. Like Faustos had brought back Thanos, but he was trying to stop the world machine from what it was doing, but he couldn't do it, but he ended up releasing Thanos. Druig found a way to get the kill switch that was in Thanos out of Faustus's brain. And he's been working with Thanos. So Druig and he are working together. And like, here's Druig's plan. Duras is back.
Yeah.
And he has to be reelected as Zuras. Sorry.
Yeah, Zuras.
I was thinking of Star
Duras.
Trek.
The Duras sisters. No.
I was thinking of Star Trek.
No.
What the hell?
Well, they died in generations. Don't worry about them.
Oh, wasn't he? No, Duras was up to be head of the Klingon Empire.
That's true.
That's why I'm thinking about that.
But lost to Gowron.
He did.
Thanks to the Arbiter of Succession, Jean-Luc Picard.
Anyway.
This reminds me of an episode of Star Trek.
Zuras. Zuras has to be reelected via the Unimind. But Druig's plan is like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We'll join the Unimind, and you'll throw your hat in the ring.
Oh,
because like Thanos needs to not only get a new body, like because he doesn't have all his powers back because of how he was Frankenstein back together originally. He needs to like go through the world mind, but they're never going to do that,
right?
Unless he was in charge. Because like Druig's like, I honestly don't know how to do that for you, but like the best way I would think is to be a Prime Eternal.
Yeah.
He's like, so we'll just get you elected,
right? And
Thanos is like,
fair enough.
Why would they vote for me?
Right.
So then, like, Druig shows him his PowerPoint presentation on like all the reasons why. You can read it. It's a graphic in the book if you choose to. So you can absolutely do that.
Okay.
And essentially, like, they go to the Unimind. He throws his hat in the ring. Zuras realizes what's happening. Realizes that some people immediately like don't go for it, but others are like excited by change.
Oh God.
Thanos is the Prime Eternal.
Oh no.
So he kills Zuras immediately. He just beats him to death.
Okay.
Again, he's like, what are you doing? And Thanos is like, it was only a week ago that I did this to you. How do you not remember?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna kill you. And so he just beats him.
I'm gonna kill you.
And then Druig goes like, here's Druig's super secret plan. He was like, Thanos will get, elected.
Right.
Then I didn't just get rid of the kill switch code, basically, that would get rid of Thanos. I copied it into my own brain. And so then I'll kill him and then I'll be in charge.
Oh,
it's
sure.
Genius.
Yeah, you're a genius.
So then Thanos immediately kills him.
Right, of course.
So Thanos is in charge.
Yeah. Yeah, which of course was probably Thanos' plan the entire time.
So
he's like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll do this for a while. That's fun. I like that idea. That's a great shakeup. And it's going to keep it going. Like, this is part one. It's not like a one-shot of Eternals where it's like, good luck, next person to take over Eternals.
Right? I'm like, yep.
That's awesome.
So I'm here for it.
I love it. That's fun. Yeah, I'm here for it. Friggin'. And that feels like a good natural use of Thanos.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being like, Thanos is in this. Because like when Eternals launches, like 6 issues ago.
Yeah.
Thanos was in it. And it was like, but Thanos is also intrinsically connected to the Eternals and their mythology.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
No.
But also it was like, synergy. But like, I kind of dig it.
No, it works. And I love the fact that it is like political intrigue.
Yeah.
But like, it's also Thanos. So like, he also beats someone to death. He beats 2 people to death.
Yeah.
Because he just takes, he just slams him into the ground a whole bunch of times.
Delight
but
in
like,
killing
I love
people.
that our main Eternals aren't there. They're not part of the Unimind. They don't join it. They don't vote.
No.
They have no idea.
Stupid.
They're just gonna find out.
That's awesome. It's a lesson to you. Make sure to vote. Sol Moretti says, I think a part of why there's less hype is because every other character moment gets called part of some agenda by people who don't read comics. Maybe those people are such a small drop in the bucket of comic book readers. Like, I don't want to give them any credence. I don't know what they're talking about, and they're not representative of the industry, nor are they representative of the fan base. Like, they think they are because they live in a bubble like everybody, everybody creates their own little like reality and worldview, and so they're like, everyone thinks this way because every piece of media that I absorb reflects my own personal opinion. And it's like, nope, you engineered an entire social construct for yourself that makes you think that that's the way the world works, when in reality it's a hodgepodge of everything, which is why America was called a melting pot in the first place. But whatever. But I do hear what you're saying, and I think that it doesn't help the conversation, certainly.
For those wondering why I would vote for Thanos, read the grid.
Read the grid.
There's like literally like he breaks it down as to why different like areas of Eternals might vote for him.
Yeah.
It's not like it's an overwhelming victory.
No.
Like there are certain areas where
that's the worst part.
He's like, you're not going to get votes there. But the fact is, like, some of the big names like Cersei and Icarus aren't going to join. They're not part of it. They're absent right now.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be part of
and
the
they're not going
line.
to sway people. So yeah. Anyway, Eternals. Check it out.
Yeah. Like I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Also watch the movie because it's going to be on Disney Plus in like a day or so. I don't really know that, by the way.
Well,
but...
like, listen, Shang-Chi is, and honestly, I'd like to watch it again.
Oh, definitely. We're going to watch it. Yeah. You mean Shang-Chi or do you mean Eternals?
Both.
Both.
But Shang-Chi, we could just,
Yeah. And if you want to know our opinions about Shang-Chi, by the way, we did a full episode talking about Shang-Chi. It was a month ago, but check it out because it's a lot of fun. And you probably didn't see it in theaters, so you can check out our opinion. An Elephant says, okay, hear me out. Comic Pop Christmas album, Ben and Ethan covering Mariah Carey songs. It could be legendary.
Yeah.
I will also offer an alternative that it would be the opposite of legendary.
No, I think it would be legendary, and I am all for this.
It'll be legendarily terrible.
I think that is a thing that we should do.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
It's probably the best idea we've had over here at ComicPop.
I do appreciate Elephants coming in and doing this,
and I
so
think that's what we're gonna have to do.
That's not.
I'll let them know.
Young Goku over 9000 says, so Jace Fox is moving to New York and Bruce Wayne leaves Gotham. Does it feel like Future State definitely isn't happening and is really just a waste? No. Future State is definitely happening. It's just going to take a different form. Like they can't just give you the same comic book. They would love to because it would save them money. But it's going to be basically the same thing. It was a waste, but like it could be a bigger waste. We'll see.
You know what it is? Like, I get the feeling of wanting to make these changes in the main universe because like you don't guarantee that making an alternate like universe like the Ultimate Universe that like a Miles Morales is going to be able to like join up and become like a mainstay character. You don't guarantee that.
No.
But it does give you the option to really just play in the sandbox, and like the Ultimate Universe was Marvel hedging their bets. They were like, go do this, try something different over here. But like we're gonna stay the course over here.
The Ultimate Universe was successful before Miles Morales existed. Miles was an afterthought.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying is that like, like you want that type of representation for sure, absolutely,
of course.
And you want it in the mainstream, but like now you're in this place of like, well, okay, we want to do this thing, but we already kind of did this thing, so like we want to do it, but now we got to do it in a different way.
Well, that's why Miles was not supposed to be in the main universe.
Well, but I'm thinking just in DC.
Yeah, well,
like,
DC doesn't.
In DC, like if they had just, if they had like committed to that, and like you got these events constantly over in DC where people are coming from, Earth whatever, or Earth this or Earth whatever, like, you could make an alternate universe like that. And then if it's like you get these characters out there and, you write these excellent stories for them, then they can also join in because they can come at any time because you've got characters from everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look at Infinite Frontier. There's like a gazillion different characters from 8 different Earths. And I'm supposed to give a shit about any of them. But like, yeah, DC has experience doing that. There's no reason why they couldn't.
That's what I'm saying, though. And so, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not running anything over there, so I don't really know. I don't know what like
the solution is,
the
or
solution
what the idea
is at all. So
neither do they. So let's jump into some recommendations for comics that are coming out this week that we think that you should check out.
That whole video side of the show.
Exactly. I forgot that Blue and Gold was a book. It's only 8 issues, and I forgot about it. It's coming out this week. Blue and Gold number 4. This is a reminder for myself, really, to just go back and read the first 3 issues that I missed, because I read the first one and I enjoyed it. So I'm going to read the next 2 through 4 and see how it goes.
I didn't say bless you.
Thank you. Supergirl and the Woman of Tomorrow. Supergirl, the Woman of Tomorrow from Tom King and Bilquis Evely is a triumph of a comic book, and it's worth your money. It's issue 5 of 8. I'm actually glad now. We've talked about how like it should have been 12. DC had no faith in a Supergirl book. That's a true story, and so they made it 8 issues instead. I'm kind of glad it's only 8 because it's going to be condensed. Like it's more like each issue more happens, and
No, that's true.
and you're still getting Evely like sprawling, beautiful pieces of like landscapes and stuff. You still get the time.
I am glad though that they're longer.
Me
It's like
too.
they gave us 8 issues, but they're longer.
They are. Well, they're 32 issues or 32 pages, and that's longer than your average monthly book. So yeah, I love this book, as do you. Buy it.
Yeah.
Kang the Conqueror is another one of those. I forgot to read the last 2 issues of this book. I'm gonna try and read more of it. I liked it. I love the art. It's of course written by Jackson Lansing with art by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly with art by Carlos Magno. Check it out. Dark Ages #3, another book that's like cool. Written by Tom Taylor with art by Iban Coelho. Apocalypse is in the Marvel universe, as opposed to him just being an X-Men character, as he should be. It's cool. I mean, it's another reality, but whatever. It's a fun book. I'm enjoying it. Nightwing #86. Unfortunately, it's another Fear State tie-in, but Nightwing knows what it's doing. It's Tom Taylor. It's Robbie Rodriguez. The art's worth the price of admission alone, but Tom Taylor knows everything about how to handle these characters.
It's not Redondo?
It's not Bruno Redondo, but Robbie Rodriguez does a great job too. So I think it's going to be worth checking out.
Okay.
It's also going to have the Batgirls in it, so why not?
Nice.
What do you think, Tiffany?
I'm going to throw it out there for Darkhold Wasp. I'm going to give it another shot because Darkhold Iron Man was great and Darkhold Blade was fine. This is written by Jordi Belair with art by Claire Rowe.
Yep.
So we'll see what side of horror that lands on. Speaking of Shang-Chi #6 comes out. Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe. Looks like we're getting Thor in this one. I really like this book.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I just picked up the first issue just to see because it was a #1. I was like, let me just give it a try.
Yeah. It's another one of those synergy books, like the Eternals books, where it's like, hey, here's a book.
It just kind of
there's a movie coming out.
Kind of just hit at the right time.
But it did.
Jean Luan Yang, I'm sure I'm saying that incorrectly. I apologize. Just telling such a great story, and I never know how to say this artist's name. I don't know if it's Daike or DK. I don't know. Ruan. Their art is spectacular.
Yeah.
And like it really, really just helps to make this book stand out for me.
They're gonna get gobbled up in some form, hopefully.
For sure. Just one of my favorite books.
Yep.
Sword #10. By the way, someone who was asking about art before, mainstream
Shang-Chi.
book. Yeah, Shang-Chi for sure.
Yeah.
It's just so
DK
different
Ruan.
looking, but looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Sword #10 is coming out. Written by Al Ewing with art by Jacopo Camagni. Did I say that correctly? I don't know. Everything's falling apart. This kid's a jerk.
Yeah.
Everything's falling apart. WizKid's a jerk. Let's do this. I will say, the further we get into this series, the less it seems about Abigail Brand. But you know what? She is she's in it. But I was gonna say they're definitely giving her that like man on the
wall.
Yeah, kind of feel where it's like she's doing stuff.
Yeah.
But we don't know it.
Uh-oh.
But sometimes we do. X-Force #25, just because it's an X-Men book. Benjamin Percy, Robert Gill. There's your team. The Nice House on the Lake #6 is coming out. James Tynion IV with Alvaro Martinez Bueno. Such a great looking book.
Such bueno.
Yeah, I'm here for it. And then it's just another series that I don't know how I got involved with it, but I'm involved. I'm involved now with you, Moon Knight. Moon Knight #5, written by Jed McKay, with art by Alessandro Capuccio. I say that almost incorrectly every single time.
Yeah.
I can't help but notice that the Moon Knight little swoosh they put through it makes me think of that Beyond Corp logo, but it just it's because you're trying to make it
moon. Yeah.
Moon,
I guess. Or it's like the rising sun. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, Moon Knight. Check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah. What was it? Before we jump into the Disney Plus drops, we'll talk about some more super chats. Cowboy says, "Hello, Sal. Thanks for the video." No problem. Tiffany deserves some thanks too. She's 50% of this video. Can you explain the concept of Superior 4? From my understanding, Superior Spider-Man is not part of it. I have no idea what you're talking about. Mr. Rangry says, do you think they are going to give Moon Knight his power or play up the fact that he's just crazy? Love you guys. Looking forward to talking about that. We'll get into it in just a minute. because Moon Knight is part of the Disney Plus lineup. I'm excited to talk about that. 343 Burning Legion. I was hyped for the Strange Adventures trade until DC tried to charge $35 for digital. Yeah, I mean, like that, the digital is a weird mistress in the comic book industry because it's supposed to be like an alternative, and yet it's also, they don't want to piss off the retailers and they don't want to upset anybody. So they make them the same price as they are in like physical, but that doesn't make any sense because why would I do that? I'm not owning anything. I don't like have property. I'm not paying for shipping costs or printing costs, and that's technically supposed to be factored into the price. But the only reason why it is because retailers like threw a hissy fit like 10 years ago. And so, yeah, it's stupid that it's $35. Just don't do that. Just don't buy it for $35 for digital. Buy it in physical. Strange Adventures is worth it anyway. You should not be reading Strange Adventures, the trade in digital.
But if you do, I would wait for a sale because you're more likely going to catch a digital sale than you will a like physical sale.
That's true, especially this book.
Yeah, so I would be on the lookout for those if you really want to grab it digitally. Yeah.
Ace versus Knight. Hickman has said that he is still at Marvel in multiple interviews. He even said that he worked with the others on a 3 years long X-Men plan. Yeah, he sure did. So let's jump into the Disney Plus plan. Okay, so they released this little teaser. Each video had like 21 seconds on it. Do you remember any of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about them from like enthusiasm levels, like lowest to highest.
Because there's 3 and then there's a bunch of logos.
There's a bunch of logos. Yeah. I guess we could talk about the logos because, logos are later. There's a Ms. Marvel show. It looks very much like a like an ABC Family, like a whatever the Freeform TV, like whatever the hell the like Runaways and Cloak and Dagger shows were. Like it's the first, like here's a kid show. Maybe it's because a kid is in it.
Yeah,
like
but that could be scary.
It could be. Yeah. No, well, like Runaways was like, well, that was Hulu, but
well, I mean, like there's that element of danger there. It's a child.
Yes, that's true.
Not just an adult making this decision.
That's true. But I mean, it looks fun. I'm very like excited for Ms. Marvel to grace the screen and impact the like Marvel Cinematic Universe. She's going to be in the Marvel's Captain Marvel sequel movie along with like Monica Rambeau, and so that's kind of fun. Like, good for them.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be cute. Or
she name dropped Jersey.
Yeah, that was. Let's be honest. That was one of the big things. I was like, yes.
Though I didn't see anybody shooting anything in Jersey City, so I don't know if that's. They probably didn't.
No,
it ain't like the Marvel Netflix shows where it's like they shot that, at least some of it, in the city.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, and by the way, I'm sure Jersey City would have let them in for months.
Sure. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to, because like so far all the Marvel shows have had very different feels to them.
Yes.
So I'm kind of looking forward to see what they decide to do with that feel, and if it is going to have that like
that like junior kind of feel.
Yeah, like teen drama.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, Ms. Marvel, check it out.
I like the logo. It's
I love it. No, I really like it. Although
fun.
it calls into question like, what's the powers going to be? Is she going to be an Inhuman? What's the story? I don't know. She-Hulk. This is a show that what?
Doink doink.
Doink doink. Yeah, look at that. Look at that Bones, Grey's Anatomy, Law and Order logo for She-Hulk that they changed to this. I dug it. I think that's a great idea because like I think they're really playing up the idea that it's going to be I think it's going to be the most like the Dan Slott book than anything would be, where it is like it's a police it's going to be more like Ally McBeal, where it's funny, like, or maybe like 30 Rock, where it's like it is this thing, this like real industry, but with a comedic like bent to it.
Okay.
We also see that it's going to be, since Marvel Studios is going to feel like a Marvel show or a movie, so it's going to have like Bruce Banner's in it, Hulk's in it, Professor Hulk is in it. We know that Bruce Banner is going to be changed as a result, because if you watch Shang-Chi, check out the post-credits and you'll see what we're talking about. But seemingly Jen Walters is changing to She-Hulk pretty soon, like pretty quickly into it.
Yeah.
I think all of these are getting 6 episodes, which I really appreciate, because like, don't waste time. Make it a big long movie. Falcon Winter Soldier, big long movie, 6 hours long. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Down for it. Great. Do it. With this, I assume it's gonna be a blood transfusion. I have no idea. They might change it. Who knows?
Okay.
But we do get to see at least a little bit of like She-Hulk in action. We
Yeah,
don't see really much.
A little bit.
We get to see
Just enough.
We get to see her butt.
It was her legs. Because that was the first thing that struck me.
And above it.
Well, yes, and that region above it. Thanks, Wash. No, like honestly, it was like the shoes, like her shoes and legs that first got me. I don't know why. I was like, wow.
Right. Because I think it's a real person.
She's green.
Yeah. But like I think that, because here's the thing, what they would have done 10, 15 years ago, they would have been like, oh, she either has to be like painted green like Gamora, or fully CG. And I think they're going to do something where it's an actor and they CG over the color.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I was just struck by it. I was struck by how much it looked like a comic book.
Yes.
Like
well, the
that
suit,
green.
the green, because they're really playing up the green, which I really appreciate.
It's green.
Yeah.
It's not
her
like...
hair isn't green though, like She-Hulk's hair is in the comics, but whatever.
But they don't always listen. Like,
you're getting a She-Hulk show.
You've seen like sometimes the Hulk is like green, sometimes like a yellow green. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, wow, this
is green.
It's just there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm hyped. I love this idea. I love She-Hulk as a character. I'm glad that they're going with like...
I do too.
With the John Byrne kind of She-Hulk.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't like the logo.
I do like it only because I think it's sending... I think, because you've taught me to like look at through this language, I think they're doing...
Oh, I think they are.
They're saying this is like think bones.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
There's just something about that EH relationship I'm not feeling.
Well, it is like, they're coming. Yeah.
This is,
I know.
That's it.
Well, it doesn't say Hulk at all. It only says this is another show.
That's fine. No, I have nothing. I have no problem with that. It's just literally, I wish the line that splits them apart wasn't attached to the letters, I think.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
That's it.
It could be just we're seeing it in motion and maybe it separates entirely.
I don't know.
I
did like that, like silly little, I guess it's her commercial.
Yes. Now I thought the same thing. It's like a throwback 70s commercial because they do the Bill Bixby line. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. They're dressed like they're in the 70s. It's got a different aspect ratio. Bruce Banner's in it for some reason.
Yeah.
I think it's like a Jacoby and Myers commercial.
Yeah.
We'll deal with the government.
You have enough to worry about.
All she's missing is a cowboy hat for no explicable reason. But I'm thinking we're getting like a jokey Marvel universe. I hope we're getting like a Dan Slott Marvel universe police like courtroom farcical show, which makes you think. Money on the table, is Matt Murdock going to be in the show? Yes or no? If you had to put down like a $5, I'm saying yes. I think Matt Murdock's in the show. I think if he were ever gonna be...
When does this come out?
I don't even know. Apparently it's supposed to come out in 2022.
When did Spider-Man come out?
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
December.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe
apparently it's getting 10 episodes.
Maybe they don't want to I don't know. I would not be able to put a $5 bill on either one of those. I'd split my bets.
Yeah. I'm going
$2.50 on each.
Yeah. I'm going full. I'm going in because Ms. Marvel 6 episodes, She-Hulk 10 episodes.
All right, wait. Does he have to actually be in it? What if they mention him?
No. Well, they're definitely going to name dropping is no. He's got to be in it. Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Well, as Matt Murdock, not Daredevil, in the show. I think he's in it.
Okay. What if it's Foggy?
That'd be fine too. I would lose the bet, but I'd be okay with Foggy.
If it wasn't Matt, they're like, we'll just bring Foggy in.
Yeah. Well, I think you're wasting an opportunity.
I don't. I like him.
No. I think you're wasting an opportunity by not putting Matt in the show.
Okay.
Because when are you going to do it? Like, if you're ever going to bring Daredevil into the MCU or Matt Murdock, and you don't do it with Spider-Man No Way Home, which I don't think is a natural place for him to be, but I'll take it because I love Daredevil. I think it's here. Because it's the easiest, quickest way to get Daredevil into the MCU in front of audiences, get him acclimated without committing to an entire new Daredevil show that's going to compete directly with another show, arguably the best of the Marvel Netflix shows.
Mm-hmm.
Grievoushish popped in to say, "Hey gang, hopping in to say hi and pray to Khonshu. The Moon Knight show is good. Hope you guys are having a great week. You too, man. Thanks a lot for
Thank
coming
you.
by.
You
Appreciate it."
too.
Ace vs. Knight says Daredevil sold 80,000, huge jump in traditional 25K units according to September charts. Excalibur sold 50 and Inferno sold 135. X-Force 66. Thanks for the numbers. Really appreciate it, man.
Well, no, I appreciate that because maybe it means that Excalibur's doing okay.
I hope it is. I genuinely do. I also know that not to trust those numbers because like they're not like really accurate.
But hey, if it's even remotely accurate,
right? I mean, like it's an indicator. It's a piece of information that you use to make some kind of judgment call. But like, unless you work for Marvel, you really don't know.
It also, if for some reason it is true, I think it's very interesting that like Excalibur were doing well, and also people are really excited for Dark Ages and Dark Knights of Steel.
Right.
I'm like,
out of continuity.
You want more swords or something?
Yeah, people love their swords, man. But
also you didn't read tennis swords.
No, nobody read tennis swords.
Yes, they did.
But also I've talked to Marvel, like I know those people, and they told me that they don't release their numbers to the general public or to anyone outside of themselves. So like anyone who says that they know or they have a person at Marvel is lying to you. Moon Knight. We're getting a show.
Moon Knight. It is happening.
It's happening. It's filmed. There are scenes of Moon Knight in it.
Mm-hmm.
We see at least the Moon Knight cape suit. And I think we saw a Mr. Knight shot where he's like wearing a white suit. I think we talked about this a while ago.
Who we were going to get.
Where it's like, we're going to get it all.
Yeah.
All the Moon Knight like incarnations are going to be in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're getting like body armor, like Stephen Platt kind of like looking.
Well, I it's funny, like when we saw the Moon Knight costume initially, you know what I first said.
Oh, it was, yeah.
I was like, it's gray.
It is not totally white.
No.
Now it is gray. It was a leaked image. It's not like, and it's supposed to be coming up on film.
I know.
Yes.
I know. And I'm not really upset about it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think what it is it looks a little like this.
Yeah. It looks
like David Finch did the art for it. Like
for their
costume department.
That's what he's supposed. I think that's the thing that everyone loves Moon Knight for. Is like a David Finch, Stephen Platt, like what's his name? Steve McNiven.
Yeah.
Hyper detailed.
Yeah. I think we are going to get like that, like gleaming costume and that look, but it was just in that shot. I was like, oh, it's a little grungy, which is fine.
I like that idea.
It's gritty.
Yeah. I think this will be the grittiest of the Disney Plus Marvel shows. It better be. I think it's gonna be, right? It's gotta be. It has to be grungy. It's gotta be the darkest because like there's no other show
that's gonna have this
kind of edge. No pun intended. But yeah, from what we saw Oscar Isaac in it. We heard him do a voice. He's going to be British for one of the personalities. At least that's my hope. We did hear him talk as well. He doesn't have a British accent for one of them. Jake Lockley sounds the most English. I'm thinking that's going to be the one. Plus, cab driver. I'm a cabbie from Liverpool. Like, sounds good to me. Each of them is probably going to have their own. There's a great moment where like he's looking in like a reflection of himself, and then like the reflection is left behind, and Mark walks away.
Yeah,
and he looks like upset because he's being left behind. How they're going to portray the different personalities is really kind of exciting and cool. Yes. Because I'm a big Daredevil Netflix fan, and because I just like this idea of putting the street back into the street level of Marvel, that moment of like Moon Knight just mercilessly beating the hell out of someone in a dirty, broken bathroom with fluorescent lighting. Yes. Like that. Yes. That's Marvel.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, it's so funny because, we all enjoyed I can't say we all did. People enjoyed the Marvel Netflix shows, but definitely a different feel than a lot of what goes on in your typical MCU film.
Right.
But like it just for some reason against the backdrop of like WandaVision, different feel, and Loki, and even Falcon Winter Soldier, which it has its own brutality to it.
Yeah,
there is something about him doing that very specific act in that scene that makes him seem all the more crazy.
Yeah, well, it feels like,
because he's also like full to toe. He's got a cape.
Yeah, he's got the cape.
Now,
there's a moment where he's jumping across rooftops. I'm like, wow! And it's like a Dark Knight Returns kind of shot. And I'm like, yes! Because that's what Moon Knight looks like.
I know, but it's like so few Marvel MCU characters
Are
have
like that.
capes.
Have capes or are that brutal?
Like Vision has one.
Yeah, and like it's an homage to Thor. Like
Yeah.
it's in deference to a god and an
Yeah.
Avenger.
Yeah.
You know,
But
it's
like,
not that
like,
gritty.
I don't know. There's just something about him. He's just like, I'm just a guy.
But I gotta have a cape because yeah, it's just me. I got no powers. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. You know what that feels like though? Feels like the Batman reaction. Because there's that first teaser they released a while ago of the Batman when he just beats that dude. Which like a couple of friends of mine have been like really upset about it. Like they were like really upset about like the brutality of Batman, where they're like he just beat that dude like beyond okay. You know, like it's a gang member. And he just beats on him and then like continues to beat on him. I think that because people really reacted to that, Marvel's like,
put it in.
We
got our own.
We can get away with it. Have him really beat on that guy. Like make people go let's see if we can scoop up a couple of runoff DC fans while we're doing this. While we're in this kind of a mood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm hyped. Moon Knight. Sweet. If you had told me 2005, I'm in New York Comic Con, 2006, whenever they dropped the Charlie Houston David Finch run. New York Comic Con, we're there. Charlie Houston is there. He's signing copies. He's signing posters of Moon Knight because Moon Knight hasn't dropped yet. And I'm like, Moon Knight, lol. And I go to Charlie Houston and I don't know who he is. And I'm like, dude, Moon Knight's lame. And he's like, I know you think that because everyone thinks that. I promise you, if you read this book, he will not be lame and it's going to blow your mind. And I'm like, if it does, I'll read every issue. And I did. And he was right. And I fucking love that book. And it introduced everybody to Moon Knight in a way where it's like anybody who's like, you like Moon Knight, read the bottom. Or you want to like Moon Knight, read the bottom.
Yeah.
But I think like there's something to be said for like the Lemire run and the kind of like Warren Ellis period. Like I think there's enough versions of Moon Knight over the last 20 years for them to just go, we're just going to use them all.
Right.
Plus, like, who knows if anyone's going to friggin' watch it? Because I think Disney's like,
I think enough will.
Yeah. Well, and I think She-Hulk's getting 10 and Moon Knight's getting 6. And I think part of that is because they're like, well, the 6 is like, we're making a movie. But with the 10, they're like, we're going full Marvel with it. You're going to get a lot of cameos in that one, which is why I'm thinking Daredevil. What was it? Ace V Knight says, my sales info was from Comicron. There you have it. Comicron is a healthy and good piece of information to help you make decisions. Like you said, it's not perfect, but it's the best we got. It's not really the best we got, unfortunately. It's just it's good enough, but it doesn't really help you. Like it gives you a guiding tool, but it's not quite what it should be, unfortunately. Zyko the Psycho, you mentioned hype. The only thing to me is Devil's Reign. I hope people are hyped for that. That'd be fine with me. Eric Molesworth says, you guys are the best. I'm so excited about Moon Knight. Hell yeah. That's right, Moon Knight. So those are the teasers we got.
Yeah. Oh, wait, hang on. Go above that last super chat right there. Just click on that comment right above that.
Oh, Glacier Mountain Comics. It is time. It has been long enough, gents. It's time for Garth Kirby too.
Thank you. I just wanted to I know that wasn't a super chat. That's usually what we do, but I just need to have you call that one out.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Glacier. Yeah. Garth Kirby's a book I did. You can find it on Comixology. Maybe one day. I know that the artist Victor Bogdanovic is a fan and he might be interested in doing another. We'll see. We got a shot of Nick Fury from Secret Invasion, a show that I can't believe exists.
He looks real good with that beard.
Yeah, he does. I don't think he knows that.
I'm like,
oh,
it's very distinguished.
It is very distinguished.
It's like rough and tumble and distinguished at the same time. I like it.
I love it. It's cool. We know nothing about it outside of Nick Fury's going to be in it. Who's got my shoes? Hopefully we find out. But yeah, we're getting that. 6 episodes of Secret Invasion, another movie. That's it. Just another movie that's really long.
This thing that you're saying says that Ben Kingsley might be in it.
Oh God, I hope so. Be fine with me.
Oh, no, sorry. No, sorry. I read that.
No. I'm sorry. Ben Mendelsohn.
I had a little,
You wished Ben Kingsley was in it.
No, it says Kingsley Ben Adir.
Oh yeah.
My brain switched.
A little dyslexia there.
A little bit. Sorry.
But yeah, no, you're fine. Amelia Clark is probably going to be. I think it's Vernacki. Fine with me. She's great. What If gets a season 2? Good for them. Whatever. Who cares? Also, and here's the other one that's kind of blowing people's minds, and I want to talk about this in another context because here's the thing: Spider-Man freshman year, animated series. They're not saying Tom Holland's playing the voice of Spider-Man. It's taking place within the Homecoming universe. Like it's a prequel to Homecoming. Spider-Man pre-meeting Iron Man, pre-Civil War. post getting his powers, or maybe during the time when he gets his powers, Uncle Ben, maybe him becoming friends with Ned, developing the suit, building the web shooters, all that stuff. We're getting that. I saw a lot of articles pushed to me because my phone is listening to me every time I'm like near it, that pushed me a bunch of bullshit nonsense articles that were like, Tom Holland's contract is up after No Way Home and he's not going to be in this, nor is he going to be Spider-Man anymore. Tom Holland's hedging his bets, blah, 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 blah. I don't believe any of it. I don't buy any of it. I'm not hyped for any of it. I'm just kind of like, don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you hear. They're making a Spider-Man show that's set in the same universe, that's set like within the continuity that they set. They're willing to like hire actors from outside the like MCU that have reprised their roles from other things. Like they're willing to pay to get actors to like continue or extend contracts. Nick Fury is going to be in friggin' Secret Invasion. He's the only actor we've seen with makeup on, and he far exceeded his contract. And it's not like Samuel L. Jackson is like a character actor you couldn't put in other movies. He's a brilliant actor who can be in anything he wants. And he's choosing to come back for these. It's not just because like it has a really good dental plan. It's because of the scratch. And like they'll keep putting Tom Holland in things. Like they had Venom lick Tom Holland's face on the screen in a Venom movie. They want you to think of Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Whether Tom Holland plays Spider-Man in this cartoon or not is irrelevant. Like just don't get excited about like the hype that these people are creating for no reason, just to get you to click on them.
Maybe Tom's like, I don't want to be a voice actor.
Right. Like except unless I'm in Onward.
Well, that's true. Well, maybe after that, he was like, that was a cool experience. Maybe it's not the type of like, he's a younger actor. He's going to want to do things that challenge him. And if he doesn't feel like right now that this is something he wants to do, it may have nothing to do with hedging his bets. I might just be like, I don't want to go down to the voice acting career.
Right. Well,
like,
also,
I did the one.
He's Nathan Drake. So he's like, I got to be in more Uncharted movies. I don't have time to do these. I'll come back for Spider-Man because that's billions with a B. And Uncharted is one movie and maybe one more. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited. I love this idea. It's also a great way for them to like cement Peter's development of the web shooters. Maybe have someone actually say, with great power comes great responsibility. Although I think they say it in the zombies episode. So that's cool. I don't remember though. I think somebody says it there. In any case, Spider-Man freshman year. That was the one where it's like, what?
Yeah.
They're doing that? Okay, cool. So I'm excited.
That doesn't surprise me because they haven't had an animated Spider-Man in a bit.
No, well, they had that horrible one that Disney made, and then they had that horrible one that Disney made.
I know you're not a fan of those, but I'm just saying, like it's been a second.
It's been a second,
so it's probably about time.
Yeah. Well, and this one's going to be shorter, and it's going to be like more. It's going to be doing work as opposed to it being like a toy commercial. We're also getting X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Now, X-Men 97, if you remember, X-Men came out in 96, I believe. So it's like it's the next year. X-Men the animated series must have performed quite well on Disney Plus.
It must have,
because there is no excuse. Now, listen. I loved that show. That's the show that introduced you to X-Men.
Yep, it is.
It's the show that introduced probably a lot of people to X-Men.
I think it's the show that basically said, like, if you can handle this,
then you can read our comics.
Then you can read comics or any other show. You're fine.
Yeah,
you got this.
Right.
You're going to start wondering why all shows aren't connected episode to episode.
Exactly. Because you were also like, I'm going to watch this and then I'm going to watch Gargoyles.
And I'm
right.
Like,
this is, and that's the show.
And that's how shows are. And then like every other show is like,
actually not even close.
No.
But yeah, we're getting quite a few people are reprising their voices. Unfortunately, there are a few deaths from the original cast. So we're not going to get everybody, but we do know that the original Wolverine is coming back to play Wolverine.
That's ridiculously
which is
exciting.
Fine. Now, he did a voiceover for I think like a fan made project where he played Old Man Logan, and it's pretty awesome. He still got it. He didn't need to play Old Man Logan. He could have still been Logan.
I'm excited. I'm excited because he was one of my favorite voices from there.
Yeah.
Did the voice actress who played Storm? Is she?
Now here's the thing about Storm. It's very interesting. Now they did bring back Storm and Rogue. But
then I'm good.
I don't know.
I'm good.
But I don't know which Storm it is because they hired an actor to play Storm, the one we remember because we watched it when it first broadcast. Then
I watched it
you watched it in repeats.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay, because I had the VHS from Pizza Hut that came out like I think before, and I watched it like religiously. And then because I have a thing with voices, like everything with sound, like I know when they change an actor or they do a weird like when they reuse audio. You know, like when Rey has a vision in Force Awakens, I heard Alec Guinness say Rey, and I know that it was him saying "afraid" from "Don't Be Afraid" when he's talking to R2. It's like Disney thought they were clever by taking it and being like, no, I made Alec Guinness say Ray. And it's like, no, it just sounds like him saying afraid, but
Right.
like nobody else noticed. And I'm like, right on. But like, I noticed they changed Storm's voice actor. And they did like immediately, like within syndication, they changed the voice actor. And they did it because I believe the original voice actor was like owed money. Like she worked out a deal where like they had to pay her residuals. And so they're like, well, fuck her, replace her immediately. I think she would maybe she was like the only like American who played the voice. And so she would have been owed like SAG royalties. And so because most of the voice actors are Canadian.
Mhm.
So they went back and changed her. So I don't know which Storm they brought back.
Wait, okay, which is the one that's like over the top?
They're all over the, well, they're both over the top. They were just like, just do it again.
That's fine.
Word for word, do her
Then
exact
for me, I don't care as long as she's still over the top.
Of course,
As long as she's yelling about wind.
I think there's no point in doing X-Men 97 if you're not going to have Wolverine, empty threat his claws. Or
I need him empty threading his claws. I need him screaming about Jean. I need him to be moody and upset at Cyclops. Yeah. I need Storm yelling out random weather patterns, and I need Rogue saying the most inane things possible. But because it's in a Southern accent, I'm like, yeah.
She also needs to be built like a dump truck because apparently that's another like meme-ish thing about Rogue. She's like a huge ass.
That's right.
Like I never noticed that as a kid, but maybe I did. Because Rogue was like one of my biggest crushes from cartoons.
That's fair. Well, listen, I get it. Is the voice actor for Gambit coming back?
I don't know about Gambit. I know he's still alive, and I know he was touring at Comic-Cons.
Oh, I hope so.
I hope so too.
I need that too. I think that's where my infatuation with Gambit came from.
Naturally. Well, he also like did it well. Like he knew what he was doing. It wasn't like Pete Holmes's X-Men character where it's just a really bad French accent. But this is Gaston.
Oh, so what do you think they're going to do story-wise?
Now that's the question, right? Because that was a super chat we got earlier.
To Storm King, who said he just purchased a copy of Garth Kirby.
Thank you very much, man. Thanks for checking it out. Hopefully it's cheap. I tried to contact Comixology to lower the price. I'm sorry if it's full price. But yeah. So what they only have like I think a few episodes. Like I think it's between 6 and 10. Who knows? But it's not a lot. And if you like watched X-Men the animated series, you know that like they dedicated a lot of episodes to one story.
Yeah, and I got to tell you before we get into what we think they might do.
Yeah,
I feel like this is the one that everyone's going to be the hardest on.
Oh yeah.
Because the other ones are new and we're going to compare them to comics, but this one's going to have nostalgia glasses on.
Yeah.
Or not.
Well, and hopefully, because here's the thing, like they need to Ocarina of Time this shit because like everybody who played Ocarina of Time when it came out loves that game. And then you play it again, you're like, whoa, the graphics do not hold up. But if you play the Nintendo DS, like the upgraded version, it's like playing it for the first time again because the graphics are updated and it's like in a
it's what you remember versus
how
what
you
it actually was
versus what it really was or what you had without the context. And so as a result, like the X-Men animated series, the animation is a little stilted, everything is dirty and made of like rocks for some reason. Like it's just they had limitations. In this they may need to update it and make it like the same style, same character. Because like, listen, they changed that last season of X-Men is garbage and it looks really bad. And they're off model, as the industry uses the term. But my hope is that they just like stay on model and like really just ramp it up. And as long as the voice actors are given their all and the stories are engaging and maybe it's written a little bit more mature, because like this cartoon is definitely not for children. And I don't mean like it's going to be mature, there's going to be murder and sex in it. I'm just saying like it's not for children in terms of the only people who are going to be watching this show are people in their 30s.
Yeah, it's not going to be an entry point, I hope. I hope they just like pick it up where they're just like previously on X-Men.
Oh, there's no way they're not. There's no way it's not going to open with previously on X-Men. It's called X-Men 97. It's going to take place in the same continuity. Every friggin' episode, except for the first one, opens with previous on X-Men to give you context. There's no way they're not going to have to give you context. So the question is, what are they going to do? Because they're going to have to do one arc. It's not going to be episodic. There's no way it's going to be episodic. like every episode is gonna be a little microcosm of an issue.
Mhm.
They're gonna do a story arc. Now they did the Dark Phoenix saga. They did Days of Future Past. They did a lot of crap.
They did.
What are they gonna do? I don't know what they're gonna do because Gambit ain't in the Phoenix saga. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
oh, they did Bishop's arc.
Yes, they
did
did.
Cable's arc.
Yes.
Like, what are they gonna do now?
I know your pitch is, and I think it's pretty solid.
Oh, well, I have 2 pitches now.
Oh, you do? Oh, I haven't heard
Because
the
what they
second one.
should have done was made 2 shows back to back. One of them, Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Different animation. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Different studio. That's like a gap season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That should be one of the seasons. Is Age of
Okay.
Apocalypse with a different animation style that's like more like Joe Mad's art, where it's like, what?
Mhm.
Just doing Age of Apocalypse for like 6-ish or for like
Mhm.
4 to 6 episodes.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. I think they're probably going to do Fatal Attractions.
That is not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, what was it?
I thought you were going to say Onslaught.
Oh my God. I don't think they're going to do Onslaught.
I thought that they might do Onslaught.
Onslaught,
and then they could just adjust the ending because they made tweaks in the original show.
They took sweeping liberties.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to set up like Heroes Are Born with it. You just
no,
do it.
You just do it. You just do like
that's so funny. I thought that's what you're.
No.
That's why I was so excited.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be Fatal Attractions. It's very simple. It's just Magneto's back.
Yeah.
We go to the asteroid. They fight. He pulls the adamantium out.
Yeah.
You get all that drama.
Oh,
you get the bone
screaming.
Claws. You got screaming. You got Bone Claws. You got Jean. Cyclops doesn't play a big role in that story at all. You get a couple of fun cameos. And then he rides off into the sunset, and you're like, oh, what's going to happen? And then you can do a time jump, and he gets his adamantium back. Who cares how? Apocalypse. The actor who plays him dead, but who cares? As long as he's going for it. Because, like, there's never been a better on-screen Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's probably true.
I am as far beyond mutants as they are beyond you. Great. Holy crap. There's never been anything like that.
Oh, man.
I
saw someone mention House of M.
House of M. Now that could be if X-Men 97 like takes off.
That could be something. Because they could just go into the modern, but I feel like launching into modern right now wouldn't be the way to go.
I don't think so. Because people are like, they should do House of X to like introduce people to comics or in the MCU. And I'm like, no. You can't open the MCU with House of X.
Only because
House of X.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, because like with Hawks and Pox, you as much as you can just jump on, but you can jump on comic book readers, because I know even if you're not reading and you haven't been reading X-Men, you know
what's up.
You know what's up a little bit. You know that like humanity doesn't like mutants. You know they had a hard time.
Yeah.
But you need to establish that. And like the average movie going audience may not remember that from the previous movies or even know it at all.
Yeah.
They may not have seen those previous X-Men movies.
No. Are they bringing back Chippendale Rescue Rangers?
I don't know. You're just these are random articles. You can't look at this.
But yeah, so
and then we got a bunch of logos too. But like, I got some logos. Any other thoughts on X-Men 97?
Just I hope it's an adaptation.
That's the one I hope is really great. Logo wise, we got Ironheart, Agatha
Harkness,
and
to show that literally nobody.
And the House of Harkness.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, and
lowest performing show of the season or of the lineup, I'm sure.
Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies getting its own show, which doesn't surprise me at all.
Well, no, because like you could have thrown you could have just guessed that was going to do pretty well. When you put that out for
which
What If.
We made a video on ComicPop Prime years ago where I was like, they're never going to do this, so I'm wrong. Like, yes, they are.
Well, you said they're never going to do this like as like a movie.
No,
I mean, like just in general.
I was just like, they're never going to do it, and you know what? I'm wrong, but like,
and I Am Groot,
which I couldn't care less about.
That one,
hopefully it's for children. Hopefully it's a baby show.
Maybe it'll be a little shorts.
That'd be fine. We're also getting an untitled Halloween special. We're getting the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special
and Echo,
and we're getting an Echo show. Now, I've never seen the actor who plays Echo. I've never seen Hawkeye because Echo is in Hawkeye because Hawkeye hasn't come freaking out yet.
Yeah,
but we're getting an Echo show.
Yeah.
Also, Echo's a Daredevil character.
Yes.
Charlie Cox could be in She-Hulk and an Echo.
Charlie Cox could be in Moon Knight.
And Moon Knight.
Because Mark Spector might need an attorney.
He may.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have nothing to say about Ironheart, Secret Invasion, I Am
because we don't know
Groot,
enough about it,
Marvel
but just-
Zombies, Agatha Harkness, Echo.
But if for some reason you didn't know they're coming out,
They're coming
they're
out.
coming out.
You're getting that.
I was gonna say something. I don't remember.
Well, let me read a thing.
Oh, it was the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Do you simultaneously hope that it is and it is not like the Star Wars Holiday Special?
I hope and expect it will be. I think yes, it will absolutely be. There'll be an animated portion that'll be like weird.
Maybe it'll be the I Am Groot. Maybe it'll be the launch of that.
Maybe
it'll be like a little teaser.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Now it could be. Yeah. Now here's the thing. We'll know how big of a holiday special fan James Gunn is because he directed it. If the first 10 minutes are just Groots talking to each other. Because that's how the original holiday special opens with Star Wars. It's just Wookiees growling for almost 10 full goddamn minutes before a human being talks.
I don't, even if he is a fan of it in like whatever capacity you could be a fan
I don't think
of
Disney's
that
going to let him do it.
I don't think that he would shoot himself in the foot like that.
Why? It's already done. Like, I got paid. I don't care what like Disney thinks. I'm making one more Guardians movie and I'm out. Like, here you go. Here's 10 minutes of I Am Groot.
You know you made that. But I guess it's a big joke.
It's a big joke. He made Super.
He's just laughing at it.
He's of course. Harry Dickens says Christopher Daniel Barnes to cameo as Spider-Man. Dude, please. I hope so, man. And here's the thing. X-Men 97, we know that it must have done well on Disney Plus. We'll never know the numbers, but like I guess it did better than Spider-Man the animated series.
The original X-Men, not 97.
X-Men 96. Because Spider-Man 94 didn't get a sequel. Unless it does. But I think if it did, we'd be seeing it. I think instead we're not. So hopefully Spider-Man shows up in one of these. I'd love to see Chris Daniel Barnes given an opportunity to do that again. Zyko the Psycho, I love X-Men the animated series and I'm happy for it coming back. But man, even if I'm the only one, I wish it was X-Men Evolution coming back. That was my X-Men. So many people like you, dude. I totally hear you. Evolution was a great show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I watched that. I watched that too. Like quite a bit because I just wanted more X-Men and I really did enjoy it, but like there's something about whatever the original animated series was.
Yeah. It was the acting and the stories
like not that it's a good show, but it's over the top,
it's
right?
So
and X-Men Evolution was just like, here's a good show.
Here's a good show.
Here's a good show.
X-Men the animated series was like it had something to prove. I don't know. BB Metalhead 04. If X-Men 97 does well, do you think Marvel will bring back other Marvel animated series? Spectacular, probably out of the question. But what about EMH? I hope so, man. I'd love to see EMH come back. It's such a great show. It's a perfect introduction to the Avengers and the Marvel Universe. There's no reason not to do that. If that's like my version of like what they should do, I was like, you should make adaptations of movies of original comics as movies, like direct to market, that are animated and set in the same universe with the same voice casts and just do that. Like, here are all these different stories that are like in this universe, but like are part of the catalog like DC used to do.
Right.
If this is the version of that we get, I guess that's fine. Kane's World off comics question. Have either of you seen Arcane? A huge recommendation, even if you know nothing about it, about League of Legends. No, but I've seen promos for it.
I have seen endless promos for it.
Yes.
But I might check it out just because, I don't know, it seems like something up my alley.
Exactly. Danvy 900. I hope X-Men 97 is set after Beyond Good and Evil, which was a great ending. Then skip the episodes that were not supposed to happen and are garbage. Like you mentioned, Apocalypse's return in season 5 stunk. Yeah, season 5 is not great. So, I hear you. I hope that if Apocalypse does come back, they get a worthy, continuation. They don't get like some stunt voice actor like Christopher Walken or something like that. Like just get a real voice actor to do with it again.
I mean, like, okay, I don't want that, but could we at least get like some like test footage of that?
I'm Apocalypse. Adam Thenhaw says, I really hope Kitty Pryde is a big part of 97. She had some great moments in the books since 92 ended. Yeah, I agree.
I'm wondering if in the first, I feel like they're probably going to introduce at least one new character because they won't be able to help themselves.
Oh, I know Nightcrawler's in the show.
There you go.
And he was in the show, but he didn't join the team.
But he wasn't part of the team.
Yeah.
But I do hope that they kind of just stick to the core just to suss it out and see. Not that it's sus, but to
figure it out.
To get their footing.
The Captain Coon Agatha show should be Tales from the Crypt to introduce the magic and monster side of Marvel, doing episodes of Man-Thing, Blade's Origin, and Kazar.
I would love it if they were like vignettes,
right?
like almost like a Are You Afraid of the Dark, but from Marvel,
like Werewolf by Night. And,
it'd
be really cool. What a great idea!
That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Yeah. So anyway, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Listen, subscribe to ComicPop Shorts, ComicPop Returns, ComicPop Prime. Follow on twitch.tv/ComicPop.
There's just ComicPop everywhere.
ComicPop's everywhere, and there's a ComicPop for you. If you're a fan of any type of content, check us out there.
We're like the X-Men.
We're like the X-Men. Yeah, there's an X-Men book for you. There's a ComicPop for you. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with us, and don't forget to subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week with another episode of Off the Rack. Check out more. Subscribe. You'll get the updates about what's coming out and when. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody.